Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Are you open-minded to taking part tonight?
Yes.
You sure? Excellent. One of the things I always suggest at this point, which is always good, who's got a pen? Make sure you're going to use the pen, because even the very bluntest pencil is better than the sharpest mind. So I want you to take away as much value tonight as possible. Take as much notes as you can from that. Take as many pictures as you want. You're only allowed one, actually. Okay, you're limited to one photograph or one video. I know that. I see it. Okay. The thought process really around tonight was about plan, propel and prosper in the property market. So how many people have actually got properties here tonight? Okay, so all got different stages of where we are. Some people it's their main income. Some people it may be as a part of their life or whatever income. And really, whenever we think of property, what is property? What is it in the sense of income? What might you call it?
An asset.
An asset. It's a vehicle to give you what?
Lifestyle.
A lifestyle. So really that's the thought process tonight as we go. But there's a lot more things whenever you start to think of it. A lot more we have to sort out. So again, Tarrant talked earlier about mindset and some thoughts around that even tonight as we go. Have you been here? Yeah. Okay. 2011, 2012, I went along for the first time to Slimming World. How many people have been to Slimming World or something like it?
No.
You're
Maybe
fortunate.
you should go, sorry.
And there's some of you who are thinking he should go back again. You see, I knew what you were thinking. But here's the reality. Whenever you go to Slimming World, what do you think is the first thing they get you to do?
Weigh yourself.
Weigh yourself. Why is that important, do you think?
You know the starting point is?
You need to know the starting point. So I wonder tonight, if you were to take out your pen and to write down where you are tonight, in your business or in your life, what would you write down? So that's just a thought process. If you think about that, we need to know the numbers. We need to know where we are in life. That's the very first thing they did. So I stood in the scales. They said one at a time, please, originally. But just understanding that. So where are you in your life or in your business? So as we think of the property market, and I think of all those different things that you do, where are you at in your property journey? Okay, is it the right vehicle for me wherever I'm going to? So that was where I was. The next thing that they did was the very first thing of standing on the scales gives you clarity of thought about where you are. That's the first thing. Then they did something else. They took you to another table in the other side of the room, and they got you to think of where you wanted to go. That was the clarity. So first of all, you knew the numbers. Secondly, they got you to think of where you wanted to go. So whenever I went and stepped in them scales, I was close to 22 stone. And I was thinking, well, I'd like to get to 16, 17 stone. That was my thought process. And they started to get you thinking about that. What would that be like? What would that feel like? All those different emotions that would go with that. You started to get a picture. But in that, they started to break that down and to give you achievable steps as we go. So some of the thoughts tonight is around goals. And I'm quite sure that many of you in here have got goals. How many people in here have got goals for their business or life? Okay? All got goals. How many people have... Keep your hands up, all who have goals. Keep your hands up if you've got them written down. And keep your hands up if you review them on a regular basis. So they say that 1% to 3% of people who've written goals, review them regularly, have a better opportunity of achieving them. Thought process, even you go back into your Slimming World, get you weighed, get your picture, and they set you achievable goals each and every week and month to help you achieve those goals. So thinking about clarity. So just to throw us out of that sort of thought process, what I would like you to write down on a piece of paper, have you got your pens in your hand? This is important. I want you to think of your life or your business or any aspect of your life at this moment in time. And if that was a car, what type of car would it be? I'd like you to write that down. If your life was a car, what type of car would it be? And I would also like you to write below why you believe that is correct. So who would like to share? What? Okay.
I would be a Land Rover because I'm strong and reliable.
Land Rover because you're strong and reliable. Okay. Sorry?
Right, sister?
So here's the thing.
We're the workers.
The person who's sitting beside you, would they believe you're a Land Rover? Or would you put another brand down?
This is my husband.
I know, yeah. Of 30 years, by the way.
I put down Volvo State.
You thought she was a Volvo.
Well, that's a workhorse too, so yes,
Okay.
reliable, strong.
So the interesting thing whenever you do this, especially if you do this with somebody else, many times what happens is somebody has a different view of your life than what you have. So that's what happens sometimes. So who else would like to share? We've got a Land Rover. Who else? David?
Yeah, a Vogue because it's multi-purpose. So lots of different things can be done with it.
What do you currently drive? You don't mind me asking?
Actually, it's both my wife and the minute. That's why we got it, so therefore it makes sense. That's why
Graham?
A Bugatti,
Okay.
because it's powerful and the best.
What are you currently driving?
A Q7.
Okay. So again, you can see just the thought process. It's understanding. We can understand sometimes where we are in life just by thinking of pictures of other things. Would that be a fair comment? I did this presentation before and I said in the last month this is how I felt I looked like. So let's be honest. How many times in the last 6 months or year have you felt like this here? No?
Yeah.
You have?
No, the odd day, yeah.
Yeah. The reality is that sometimes we go through life, even though we think we're a Bugatti or a Land Rover, whatever that might be, there's different times in life we've got that imposter syndrome, or we've got things go wrong, and in those days we don't always feel that special. We don't always feel what we are. So even whenever we go through the difficulties in life, and I'm quite sure not all your property deals go in the way you want them to, but you can get the wrong view of who you really are. Sometimes you have the wrong view of where you are now. Other people see you as something different, but also sometimes we've got that voice going on inside where we see ourselves as that rusty bucket of a car. Doesn't mean to say that's what we are, by the way. That's sometimes how we see ourselves. E plus R equals O. Anybody know what that means? Because to me it's a well-known thing. No? E plus R equals O. I first read it, Jack Canfield. If you've never read the book, I would encourage you to read it. The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. I believe there's something like 52 chapters, so there's a chapter for every day of the week. But E stands for events. Plus R equals O. O is outcomes. There's only one thing that can make a difference, and that is the R, which is response to the event. So events happen. Things go wrong. We had COVID, for instance. Only one thing we can change about that, and that was the response that we had to that. Only one view we could have, it was our response to it, and that creates the outcome. So many times, wherever you are in life, we are today a result of the choices that we have made. Would that be a fair comment? If I'm 2 stone overweight, is it my wife's fault?
No.
So we have to take personal responsibility. So wherever you are, whenever we talked about standing on the scales earlier, wherever you are in that life or business where you are tonight, in your property journey, if that's the case, wherever you are, that's because of the choices you've made and where you're going to. So E plus R equals O. E stands for events plus response equals outcomes. So even if you take that away tonight, that one thing, I believe that in itself can change some of your life where you are. Many people had something good happen to them. Okay, anybody like to share one good thing, David?
Sold a property last week. When the money hit the account, it was very nice.
Okay. Can I just ask, how did you celebrate that?
Went for a meal with Brenda and Mum and Dad.
How did that feel?
Very, very good.
Okay. Why is it important to celebrate our success?
Acknowledgement.
Acknowledgement, yeah. What else?
Build self-esteem.
Build self-esteem, yeah. What else?
Confidence.
Confidence. Would you say it also reinforces the success that we've had? You think about that. So I had something good that happened recently. Yesterday I took a couple of friends out for tea, and I didn't celebrate too much with them. It cost me £25. Like, I'm for Bushmills, come on, you know what I mean? So originally, but the celebration reinforces it, and celebrating the small successes as you go along. I remember one day, very simply, of getting a new client. I remember sitting in my local coffee shop with my cup of coffee and my muffin. I remember sitting there, it was just marking the occasion. And what I was saying is, if you've had success as you go along, or small successes, acknowledge them, celebrate them, reinforce them in yourself, and so that you want to do them again. So just think of something in your life at this minute in time that you think you should have celebrated. Would that be a fair comment? Write it down. Write something down now you feel you should have celebrated, and write beside it how you're going to celebrate that. That might be a cup of coffee. That might be taking somebody out for a meal. That might be buying yourself a new watch or new piece of clothing, whatever that might be. Just to think, to mark the occasion. Over 13 years ago, I attended a seminar, and the person started to talk about the ideal day. What does your ideal day look like? If everything was perfect on that day, what would it look like? And I want you, this is, Turan was talking about not being woo-woo and all this type of stuff, and I'm not into that either, but I want you to think just for a moment, and I want you to be relaxed in this case, and I want you to start and think of what an ideal day would look like. You might be very content to sit there, relax your body, close your eyes and do that, but I want you to think of this as we go through even this simple exercise. What I want you to think of, again, if you're open-minded to closing your eyes, just to get into that place, that state that you talked about earlier, if you think about it, what time would you lie into in the morning? What time would you waken up? As you get out of bed, you open the curtains, what would the weather be like? Would it be raining? Or would it be lovely sunshine? As you get yourself dressed, do you do that in a hurry, or do you do it in a peaceful way? Get yourself dressed, get the hair ready, all those things. Head downstairs if you're in a double story. Go down to the kitchen. What would that ideal breakfast be for you? Would it be the poached eggs? Or would it be the lovely healthy fruit, yogurt? I wonder, just as you finish the breakfast, what is it you would do? Would you be going to work? What would you be doing with your kids, your family? And as you think of the day as you go along, what would be in that day? What type of work would you be doing? What type of things would you be doing? As you maybe finish work or whatever it is for you that day, what time would you come back home? What would you have for dinner? What would you do in your evening time? Remember, it's your ideal day. It's your day. What time would you think of relaxing and starting to go to bed at night? How would you prepare? Who have you have spoken to during the day that would be important for that? I want you just to think about that just for a few seconds. And even if your eyes are closed, you could open them now and just start and put a few thoughts down on a piece of paper. Just some of the things that you've highlighted as part of your ideal day. not sure what everybody has written down, but would anyone like to share some of the things that was part of their ideal day? While I look at this table back here, I want you to engage a wee bit with me. Rachel, look at you. Would you like to share something on your ideal day?
It would be very, very slow and start. So it would. I'd probably read and watch something, make coffee, see some friends, go for a walk.
Okay. Anybody here want to share? Joanne?
Yeah, it looks a lot like that. Get up, relaxed, and then I have twin boys, and I'd like somebody to take them away. and like do paddleboard or something with them, and I can watch it, but not have to be doing it.
Many people. Huh? It is, yeah. I'm not saying this is part of your ideal day, by the way. I'm just using it because I was relaxing. There's a place called Half Moon Cay, actually. Took a number of years to get there. But many people woke up to sunshine. Many people woke up to rain. Anybody? No. You're living in the reality, so you are, William. You're supposed to be living in the real world. But it's interesting, in some of the simple things of ideal day, and I want you to think of this thought process. For me, I was getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning. For me, it was eating a healthy breakfast. For me, it was taking my kids to school, because at that time I couldn't. Whenever I did this exercise, I was employed. And it was only a number of years later, I was travelling home one day after dropping the kids off at school, and I went, oh my goodness, this was part of my ideal day. And many of the things that part of your ideal day are achievable now. So don't lose it. Getting up, restful, some of those things you can have those. And you know what? Maybe you can't have them every day, but you could have once a week. You could have once a month. So just don't lose yourself in the midst of all that, in the hustle and bustle of life, that we miss some of those things. So on the table you'll see there's a tape measure. Okay, a paper tape measure. I'd like you all to take one. Okay, these are for you. These are special for you. Okay. I would have brought scissors so you could cut them, but I didn't know if the crowd would do a health and safety on it or not. So we think.
I'll just knock it around my waist.
It's not going around mine either, I can tell you. Okay. Yeah. Though if I was waiting on David to buy me dinner, I'll be very thin. But what I want you to think of, I want you to take that. I want you to. You see where it says 1 or 0 there? Okay. I want you to write your name on it. Okay. I want you to write your name. This is for you to take away. For some people, this next exercise could be very depressing. For other people, it'll be okay. All right, Ian. What is the average age that Sunday? This determines people's age, by the way. What does COD stand for?
Cash on delivery.
Cash on delivery. You didn't know that, did you? No. Credit card, eh? What does COD stand for?
I can't even remember what he said.
No. Give me another one. What does COD stand for? Huh? Someone told me it was Call of Duty, which is a gaming thing, you know, but cash on delivery. But it's not actually. This stands for your checkout date. Okay, there's your checkout date. Okay. What's the average age that a woman dies at in the UK and Ireland? Yeah, it's about 82, 83. A man, they reckon the average is about 80. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is, why don't you take your tape measure and get to the 80 or 83 or wherever you feel you're going to die and tear it off. Okay? So you're only going to be left with 83. Okay? You should 83. You should have 83 or 80 centimetres. Okay? I'm going to use Elizabeth for this because I think she's a happy girl and she'll play along. Because some people who are going to be very worried about this, there's some people who cut it off 83. You've got to cut off. Yeah, excellent. Some people here are younger; they'll be doing fine. Some other people, okay. So, do you mind sharing, Elizabeth? What age are you?
I'm 50.
Are you? Seriously?
Oh, I love you now.
I thought you were older than me. So if we take 50 off our 83, what have we got left? This actually works in really well, so thank you for this. So I want you to rip off your piece of paper at 33 now, or whatever it is for you, okay? So Ian, I don't know how much you've left within your... Anyhow. So in other words, you ripped off 83, then you take off your current age off the 83, and currently with Elizabeth we're caught with 33. Is that okay? Is this depressing you?
I love you.
So, as we think of that, we've got 33 left. What do you do every day? Takes up 8 hours a day, roughly. Okay, what's the other 8 hours? You sleep 8 hours a day, approximately. Okay, so what I want you to do, just for you, is to cut off another third of that. So that means you're left with 22. So what?
22 now?
Yeah, 22. So it's just a thought process. What I'm saying to you here is I want you to think of, depending on where you are, if you're left with 22 centimetres, how does it make you feel? Because this here represents the rest of your life. So I want you to take that and take it home with you and think about that. Now, if you only speak to me about what happens after this, that's a different conversation, okay? We're now dealing in the everyday life at the moment, alright? Time passes very quickly. So no matter where you are in your career, in your business, the reality is there needs to be action taken now. Would that be a fair comment? Where we are, no matter where we are, it's about taking action. Time flies, disappears. You know, one day I was 50. That's why I was on that cruise, because I was 50. Okay, but I'm now 56. Time passes very quickly. I don't know what I'm going to do for 60. Might get a Zimmer frame. There's many things in life as we think about it. So as we think about the business of life, we think of all these other things. There was a demonstration done of rocks and sand where we look at things as being important. And the experiment was, I'm quite sure many of you have seen it, where they fill it up with the sand, they fill it up with the gravel, they fill it up with the small stones, the pebbles, and then they try to fit the big rocks into the top. And that didn't work. So you have to put the big rocks into the jar first of all. So for many of you, you might think, well, what are the big rocks? What's the important things in life? If we're only got this limited period of time left, how much of our time is taken up with trivial rubbish, arguments with people, what's the important things for you? And that's just the thought process as we go through this, as we think of the property being a vehicle for income. And the income is a vehicle really for lifestyle and all the rest of the things that we talked about. So I'm going to suggest, I'd like you to write down just on a list for you some of those things. Financial being a big rock in life, health being a big rock, relationships, personal, fun time, and contribution. Those are important rocks in life that we might look at. We're going to do some of those things even tonight, just to think of our business as well. So financial, business, fun time, health, relationships, personal, and contribution. Those are the, might say, 7 big rocks you might want to think about. You might have a different big rock for you, but this is just an overarching headline. So if we think of financial, this could be along something what you're earning, what you're investing, maybe what you're saving, or it might be just reducing debt. Okay? So what I want you to think of is under the financial thing, whatever that is for you, okay, so it's going to be different for different people. Alright? And I want you to be honestness in yourself, whatever that is. It might be very much a personal thing, it might be a project you're working on. But I'd like you to score yourself between 0 and 10. 10 being absolutely great. This area of life where I am is fantastic. I have no problems. I'm a 10. Or it could be I'm a 0. Actually, I haven't done anything. It's terrible. Or I'm somewhere in between. What I'd like you to do is to write a number down. It's just for you in a sense. What number would you put against that financial, important big rock in life? Anyone would like to share their number? Sorry, I shouldn't have said it. Who would be open-minded enough to share a number? Where they are? No? Would you like to share your number?
Me?
You? No, I'm looking at the girl behind you, but you'll do as well. Like Mark.
I put mine 5.
Okay. Can I ask? I don't really know what the background, but why did you score yourself 5?
I'm financially stable at the minute, but just where I want to be in life is a lot higher now.
Okay. So, what would you have to do to be a 10?
I want to get into buy, refurbish, refinance property.
Okay. So, making that into something very clear. What does that mean?
Making more money.
How much more money?
Few million.
You get what I'm saying here? But clarity here.
Yeah.
Because unless you're clear on what it is, you're maybe not able to help yourself, and other people can't help you either. Would that be a fair comment? So it's been very clear on it. So you might have, say, for instance, for me it was a very simple goal when I first did the exercise. It was, I changed my goal around this to I'm saving £100 a month. So I wrote my goal in that sense, I'm saving £100 a month. So I'm writing it as if it's in the present and I'm doing it. So I wonder for you to get to your 10, what's the one action that you think you should be doing that's going to get you closer to that? No, I don't want you to answer, that's for you, okay? So for all the rest of you, whatever the gap is between your 5 or your 6 or your 7 and your 10, what's potentially the one action you can take now that's going to move you? Because if you leave this place with something, you'll go away thinking, I've achieved something tonight, it's been worth my, whatever the ticket price is. You're going to do something, whether it's being property or personal life or whatever. For me it was just around saving at that time, okay? Or you might be in debt and you're thinking, I'm reducing my debt by £100 a month or £1,000 a year or whatever. Then you might think of your business separately from just ordinary finance. This could be projects you're working on, this could be sales, it could be a sales figure, or it could be a new venture. So I just want you, just for yourself, to write down business and then score yourself on that. Again, the thought process here is the gap between whatever you've scored yourself. Do you mind me asking, Graham, what did you score yourself?
4.
4, okay. Why did you score yourself a 4? Why so high?
I thought it was low. No, I thought it was low, but I based it on, I just feel like I'm nowhere near where I want to be, or where I can go.
So you know the gap then?
Yeah.
What type of things do you think you need to do to get there?
Take more action, meet more people, just try to get myself out there, be braver.
Okay. What's the one action you can do leaving here tonight to make that happen?
Get more contacts with people here.
How many more contacts?
All of them.
You get what I'm saying? So be very clear on that. So again, you come into a situation. What is it for you that's going to move your business from your 4 to a 10? Now here's a reality. I'm just going to tell you this. If you're sitting here next year and we did the same exercise, you might still be back at a 4, because we have a different view of ourselves then to where we're going to, and you have more knowledge, but you're still working towards it. So whether you're a 4 or 6, 7, it doesn't really matter. The fact is, it's taking action on this. So the end of this, fun time. Many people like fun. I'm going to give you an example. So for me, whenever I did this exercise, I realised I didn't take my wife on romantic breaks enough. Didn't know about Hillsborough. Yeah.
You know it now.
So, but it was the understanding that I didn't have, there's certain fun times I could build into my life, and I started to think, well, if I could just do a weekend away or a week breakaway or something like that every so often, it would just change and have fun time. No, it doesn't. That was me. You might have a different idea of what fun time is for you. That might be outdoors, going walking, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But if you were to really score yourself on fun time you have currently, what would it be? Currently, based on where you are, how would you score your fun time, Sean?
3.
3? Seriously? What age are you?
23.
No hope for you now. Like, if you're a 3. No, I'm just joking. But if you're a 3, what would a 10 look like to you?
Lots of holidays.
Lots of holidays. To where?
Sunny places, not here.
Where would you like to go, though, really?
Like ski holidays. And
You said sunny holidays a minute ago. Come on.
they are sunny.
All right, they are sunny. Okay. But whatever it is for you. So, how many people scored themselves up less than a 5 in this area? Okay. Matthew, you're over a 5. What did you score yourself? 7. What's the one thing you could do that would move you closer to a 10?
Probably having more spontaneous nights out with the wife.
Okay. Spontaneity takes a lot of effort, actually. Think about that long-term planning, that spontaneity stuff. But the fact is, if you want a holiday in the sun, what's holding you back?
Financial situation.
Is it expensive to go to the sun? Is there some good deals there?
And time too.
Okay. Remember, we'll go back to that. You're 23, you'll soon be looking like Ian. Not right, Ian? Not that long ago you were 23, was it? But it doesn't seem long. Time passes you by, so unless you take action now for some of those things, you leave it behind. So you can't always achieve the things you want later on. Okay, I need to move quickly. Health, whether that be around your own physical health, spiritual health, different things you might want to put in place. Might be the fact you think, well, I need to be able to walk a few miles a week or whatever it might be. A certain health thing, might be a weight thing, whatever it is for you. I'm just giving you as a headline, so I want you to take away and think about it. The other one is relationships. What's the relationship that you have? That could be a business relationships we're in here tonight. That could be your own personal relationships, family and all the rest of it. Those are all things that can be worthwhile looking at. How would you score that? What's your score with your significant other, for instance, whatever that is, tonight? What's the one thing you could do to improve it? You might have a personal goal, some personal project, nothing else to do with family, nothing else to do with work, just purely personal. Contribution, I want to bring this out. I left a particular workshop, this type of workshop I was working on, did a 3-hour session on it, and I left myself thinking, I want to give at least £100 a month, or raise £100 a month for a charity. Small thing, you might think. I thought about that as I was driving home. I thought, how could I get more people engaged? And one of the things I did was I went to the young people in our church and I said, this is what I want to do. I want to raise some money for charity. What could we do? We decided we'd do the 5k run, walk, whatever, crawl. And as a result of that, we got them engaged, and we got their parents engaged, and as a result of all this, we raised something like £15,000 or £16,000. But from a thought process of doing £100 a month. So what I'm saying is, whatever that might be for you, how are you giving to others? What can you contribute to your community, charities, whatever that might be? So you've got 7 areas that we've talked about. So what I would suggest to you, and my time's gone at this point, write down 7 things you could do for each of those things. Sorry, 1 thing for each. What's the one thing you'll do to change your contribution? Get you thinking about what's the one thing for your health that you could do? What's the one thing for your personal things you're doing, business, your finances? 2024, well, already the first quarter's gone. Time's coming very quickly. It's taking action on that point. So breaking it down, one of the things which I use, and I've used for a number of years now, is a planner. You'll find out with Ivy Lee's story, it was about putting the plans in your diary, taking action, getting a to-do list or a get-done list, as I call it. That's why you've got those wristband things on your desk. It's called Results Planner. This is the Results Planner. If you take one of those there, what is it? Sorry? Elasticated. Okay. An elastic band, but the reality is it remembers where it was before the new force was applied, and it returns to a familiar place. You come here tonight, you think of all the things you're going to do. What happens tomorrow? you go back to where you were. When you take that, even just think about it. Okay, that's just a thought process. And think about the stretchiness, the elastic band of where you'll be tomorrow. To create permanent change within a material or a human being, a force must be applied that's strong enough to exceed the elastic limits. Where you're holding it and holding it and holding it, changes that. How might you do that? Get yourself an accountability partner, get yourself a coach, get yourself a mentor, get yourself on a mastermind group. You talked about that. I'm involved in some of those things myself personally. I supply other or work with other people in those things. But also you heard tonight about masterminds and property. Whatever that is for you tonight. One of the things I talked about was a results planner. You can get a digital version of the results planner for free. Take a picture of the QR code. Within that, you've got a whole planner you can use for 12 months, and it gets you focused on your activities and action, and helps you plan out your day. Would that be useful? Take a picture, download it, and let's continue talking. So thank you very much. Night.
Thank you, Andrew. That was great. Any questions for Andrew?